Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Bhai Dilavar Singh, this is a name that's been mentioned a lot recently, and a lot of people are talking about Bhai Dilavar Singh, and it's because recently people have been celebrating and honouring the anniversary of his martyrdom. Now, Bhai Dilavar Singh, it doesn't matter what organisation you belong to, what community, is spoken of very highly, and is respected across the world. And recently, Sidi Akatal Sahab, our supreme parliament, our sacred parliament, declared him a national martyr and the honour of a whole nation. But then, if we look at Bhai Dilavar Singh, and if somebody who doesn't know who Bhai Dilavar Singh asks you, why is this person respected so much? Why is everybody talking about this person so much? And then what would your answer be? He killed a man. He became a human bomb, and he exterminated somebody else's life. Now, in this modern era, where there's so much terrorism and extremism, that sounds like just that, extremism and terrorism, becoming a bomb and taking out somebody else's life. But then we need to look at the kind of things that were around in Bhai Dilavar Singh's life, the kind of world he was living in, that made him strap explosives to his waist and take out somebody else's life along with his own. And people would question, they look at Bhai Dilavar Singh and think, he was an amazing man. Some people would say, people like Bhai Dilavar Singh, they're born without a heart, they're born without families like us, they're born without a sense of humour, they're just not normal people. But in actual fact, if we look at Bhai Dilavar Singh as a case study, we can see Bhai Dilavar Singh was one of countless, thousands upon thousands of young, innocent Punjabi Sikh people who were thrust into a world of hell, and they had no other way or alternative but to take extreme action. So what we're going to discuss is briefly what life was like for Bhai Dilavar Singh. Now, Dilavar Singh came from a normal family, just like yours, just like mine. He came from a place called Guru Nanak Nagar in Patiala, Punjab, and he had a mother, Bibi Sarjeet Kaur, a father, Baba Harnek Singh. He had two brothers who worked for the government, and he himself as a child was loved by everybody in the village. People in the village used to say how much of a nice guy he was, how caring, loving he was, and how much of a happy child he was. Generally, always happy all the time. Now, Dilavar Singh took this into his teenage years, and even later on in life, when he wanted to serve the community even more. He wanted to serve his fellow Punjabis. He wanted to make sure people were safe. So what did he do? He joined the Panjab Police service, and his motive was to serve the community, to serve his nation, and become a good, upstanding citizen and a model citizen of Punjab and ultimately India. So that's what Dilavar Singh does. But what does he find when he joins Punjab's police? He doesn't see honour, he doesn't see discipline, he doesn't see respect in Punjab Police Service. What does he see? He sees murder, rape, looting, robbery, disrespect, dishonour, mass murder, lies, corruption. This is what Dilavar Singh sees as a police officer. But as a Sikh, and throughout his childhood he had some, very strong Sikh values, and he was very into his Sikh faith. As a Sikh, he saw that there was a particular community that was being targeted by Punjab Police, and that was his own. He saw Gurdwara being destroyed. He saw Sikh women being terrorised, being raped on a daily basis in cells. He saw Sikh men being just killed openly in the fields. People like our chachi who are farmers, they'd just be picked off while they're farming by the police, shot dead, and given a fake encounter, told that we've just killed a terrorist. This is what Dilavar Singh saw as a police officer. As a Sikh, it burnt him even more. And Dilavar Singh also grew up at a time when the holiest Sikh shrine, Harmandir Sahib, had been destroyed, had been reduced to rubble. Now, we've got Gurdwara across the world. We live here in the UK. If a Gurdwara is reduced to rubble, people's hearts burn. They want something, they want answers, they demand answers, and they want action. Dilavar Singh witnessed Harmandir Sahib, our holiest Sikh shrine, reduced to rubble. By who? The Indian government. He also witnessed mass killings, mass illegal cremation grounds, as a police officer. And this isn't just some information that's off the cuff. There's, like I say in previous videos, and I'll say it again, I always implore people to do their own research. We give you here snippets of information. If we try to do everything regarding Dilavar Singh or any topic that we choose, if we try to cover it extensively, the videos will be 2-3 days long. So we always implore you, don't use these videos as the be-all and end-all. Go and do your own research, and if you think the facts are wrong, go and find them and let us know. So this is some of the stuff. This is human rights. This is the Asian Human Rights Commission, and this is what they say. The government under Chief Minister Beanta Singh created a situation where even subordinate police officers became the judge, jury and executioner of innocent people. Sikh boys were picked up from their houses or fields and taken blindfolded to isolated places and told to run. A burst of AK-47 rifle fire ended their lives. This is what Asia Human Rights has reported. This is what Dilavar Singh saw. So rather than upholding the law, he saw use and abuse of the law by Punjab's police. And in a 62-page report by Amnesty International called Violations of Human Rights in Punjab, this is a little snippet. It says, since 1983, Sikhs are arrested on mere suspicion, women have been arrested and tortured, beaten and raped, thousands of Sikh groups have been captured, tortured and then extrajudicially killed. And this report was published in 1991. So we can imagine that a normal guy like Dilavar Singh, a normal guy just like us, he had a family I've just described, his mom and dad, 2 brothers. He had a great job. He wasn't a normal constable, he was a special officer in Punjab's police. He could have had a cushy life, he could have, lived the dream. He could have set his family up for life. But then it all boils down to principles. He sacrificed the luxury of being a special police officer in Punjab's police. He sacrificed giving his family luxury. He sacrificed giving himself luxury to pursue a path which would ultimately lead to his end. And the reason why he was able to pursue that path is because he saw life in Punjab turn into a literal hellhole where nobody was safe. And the people that were perpetrating the terrorism weren't some looters, they weren't some bandits, they were the people in uniform. They were the people who were the politicians. They were the ones who were running governments. Those are the people who were making sure that life was hell for Sikhs in Punjab. Now, if the lawmakers were making sure life is hell, if they were breaking their own laws, if they're extrajudicially killing people, just the way Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch have said, if they were doing those things, who do you turn to? You can't turn to the police for protection. You can't turn to the army. You can't turn to the politicians. Who do you turn to? And Bhai Dilavar Singh turns to Guru Nanak Dev Ji. He asks Guru Nanak Dev Ji, what as a Sikh do I do in this situation? And he sees that from Guru Nanak Dev Ji, through our gurus, through our Shaheeds, like Baba Deep Singh Ji and Banda Singh Bahadur, Sardar Baghel Singh, Jassa Singh Ahluwalia, he sees that there's a solution. And the solution is a hard one, but it's one that has to be done. And what Bhai Dilavar Singh does is he meets like-minded people who were suffering the same, just like Bhai Dilavar Singh was and the rest of Punjab. And one of those people, a very famous person, Bhai Balwant Singh Rajwana, who was also a police constable at the time, they meet Bhai Jagtar Singh Hawara and others, and they ask themselves, what can we do to not only honour the people who've been killed and dumped into rivers and thrown into fields, but what can we do to stop ending future lives as well? How can we stop this mass murderer, Beanta, who was the chief minister at the time in Punjab, who was organising, sanctioning and promoting the killing of Sikhs from 92 to 95? How can we stop this guy? And the solution was simple, was to end his life. And because he was a very important cog in India's machinery, he was supported to the tilt by India. There was nowhere else they could go. They couldn't appeal anywhere, they couldn't file FIRs, they couldn't do anything. And these are police officers. So you can imagine what would life have been like if you were an armed Punjabi, just a normal villager who had a normal job or was a farmer. If these police officers were so disgusted and sick to the stomach with what they saw on a daily basis, what would armed Punjabis have felt? Which is why Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch have got these reports to say Punjab was an actual killing field. Bounties were placed on people. Police officers were given promotions for killing Sikhs. they were given promotions for raping Sikh women. So they decide that rather than start at the bottom, we start at the very top, based on Sikh principles. Just like Bhai Mehtab Singh and Bhai Sukha Singh, when Masarangar was in Harmandir Sahib and desecrating our holy shrine, they didn't go there and just go for the soldiers. They went to the very top and took Masarangar's head off. Baba Deep Singh Ji done the same. They took off Ahmed Shah Abdali's head when he was desecrating Harmandir Sahib. Bhai Beanta Singh, Bhai Satwant Singh, Bhai Kher Singh, they went to the very top and took out Indira Gandhi. Bhai Jinda, Bhai Sukha, they went to the very top and took out General Vaidya. This is Sikh philosophy from the day Guru Nanak Dev Ji was born, is to go for the perpetrators and not any innocent people. And this is where people blur the lines between a terrorist and a freedom fighter. A terrorist doesn't care about victims, doesn't care about innocent people, it's about maximum damage. But a Sikh, a freedom fighter, a son of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, doesn't care about maximum damage. It's about going for the person who's perpetrating the crime. In this instance, it was Beanta, Chief Minister. So they meet each other, these like-minded Punjabis, some of them police officials, some of them got normal jobs. They meet each other and they say, right, they hatch a plan to get rid of Beanta. And on August 31st, 1995, a very auspicious day for the Sikh community, Bhai Dilavar Singh and Bhai Rajoana, whose job it was to get rid of Beanta, they were very close friends, and you can imagine what the scene would have been like. Two guys, best friends, both in the police service, both ready to give their lives for the Sikh Panth, and they look at each other just like brothers, and they ask each other, I want to do the deed. I want you to live and I want to do the deed. I want to take Beanta out. And the other one says, no, I want to do it. So how do they decide who's going to do the deed? They toss a coin. And Bhai Dilavar Singh is chosen to go and do it, with Bhai Balwant Singh Rajoana as a backup. Now these two people who loved each other like brothers, there is Bhai Rajoana strapping Bhai Dilavar Singh's waist with explosives. Now we've got friends, we've got brothers. What heart does it take to be able to do that and say your final fateh to that person, knowing that you're never going to see them again? Bhai Dilavar Singh then, because he's in his police uniform, he's got a folder in his hand. He walks to Chief Minister Beanta outside the Chandigarh Secretariat. He goes, sees Beanta outside the car, reaches to touch his feet. As he touches Beanta's feet, he pulls the trigger and boom, Beanta's no more. In that blast, 17 of Beanta's bodyguards, who were also known perpetrators of human rights violations, known rapists, known looters, known murderers of Sikhs, they perished in that as well. Not a single innocent person was hurt. Bhai Dilavar Singh, according to Sikh philosophy, Sikh tradition, took out Beanta. What's important for us as Sikhs is that this action not only confirmed to us that we still have Sikh warriors to this very day, but it also was the outcome, the ramifications of this action wasn't just taking out Beanta, but a lot of the killings, the mass genocide of the Sikhs started to decrease. So once Beanta had been taken out, what's important and what people don't realize is that a lot of lives had been saved. A lot of the butchery that was going on in Punjab had actually stopped. Not completely, because even to this very day, people like Jaspal Singh are being made shaheed. But a lot of the killings had decreased significantly. So it's important to know that Bhai Dilavar Singh, along with Bhai Rajoana, Jagtar Singh Hawara, and the other 8 or 9 that were with them, not only did they honour the people who'd been butchered by Beanta, but they also saved countless lives. Maybe even our own relatives in India who are alive today, they could have fallen victim to Beanta's genocide of the Sikhs, because he had it in his mind that I need to exterminate all Sikhs to get rid of so-called terrorism. So they saved a number of people, and it's important to remember that, which is why Bhai Dilavar Singh, Bhai Rajoana, people like this are held in such high esteem. And even Bhai Rajoana, I mean, in later episodes we're going to touch upon in more detail Bhai Rajoana's story. Even Bhai Rajoana, as a police officer, he himself was the victim of Panjab Police brutality. His father was shot dead. His best friend, Harpinder Singh Goldie, was picked up and killed. Harpinder Singh Goldie's sister, who was like a sister to Bhai Rajoana, She was raped and killed. Harmandir Sahib was destroyed by Rajwana's very eyes. So these are people in prominent positions who had become victims of the very police force and the very government that they thought they were serving. So like I said, we always need to take it back to normal life in Punjab. What were they facing? The people who had no connections, the people who had no connections in the police service, they were just routinely picked up while they're going about their normal daily lives, and their lives were destroyed. Mothers were raped in front of sons, daughters were raped in front of their fathers, brothers were killed, sons were chopped up and thrown into the river, people were tortured, grandmas were even made to disappear. So this is what life was like. This is what we need to stress to people, that we may think of Bhai Dilavar Singh, and some people may question you, how can you celebrate, the ending of somebody's life? How can you celebrate a so-called human bomber? But then you also need to question then, why does the world celebrate when Saddam Hussein is executed? Why do they celebrate when Osama bin Laden has been executed? Colonel Gaddafi, why do we celebrate these things? These are tyrants, and the whole world rejoiced when these people were brought to an end. But when it comes to the Sikh community, all of a sudden, when we take action after decades upon decades of butchery and mass genocide of our people, we are the terrorists. So we take stock of these things, and it's a matter of letting other people know that it's not just a man who's brave and he's took out another man. Look at what life was like. Look at what Punjab was, and look what Punjab is today. So Bhai Dilavar Singh, Bhai Rajoana, these people are very important. And then we go back to 1984. Now Bhai Dilavar Singh was, declared a national martyr. He was declared the pride of a nation. But then he has followed along the line of many other generals. And when I say generals, I don't just mean Sardar Baghel Singh, Jassa Singh Ahluwalia. I don't mean just these people, Nawab Kapoor Singh. I'm talking about people who are dubbed as terrorists, sometimes even in our own community, and they don't see what life was like for them. When I talk about these people, I'm talking about generals in the Sikh army, who are often called terrorists. These generals, people like General Manveer Singh Chehru, people like General Gurbachan Singh Manochal, General Gurjant Singh Budh Singh Wala, General Sukhdev Singh Babbar, General Avtar Singh Brahma, General Lab Singh. These generals were generals in the Sikh army, and they belong to missiles, just like the missiles of the 16th, 17th and 18th century. They belong to missiles. Only these missiles, instead of being called Sukar Chakia, Nishan Wale or Pangia, they were called Khalistan Commando Force. They were called Khalistan Liberation Force. They were called the Babbar Khalsa and Pindranwala Tiger Force. These were the same kind of Jathebandis that existed many, many centuries before. And the people who belong to these organizations, the people who belong to these Sikh missiles, and the generals, they too were normal people like Bhai Dilavar Singh. They too were normal people like Bhai Rajoana. They were normal citizens. They were the victims of terrorism. But rather than be victims all their lives, rather than see many, many hundreds and thousands of people perish, they decided that they needed to get some honor back into their lives. So they decide to try and get the perpetrators back. And this was based on Guru Gobind Singh Ji's philosophy that when all peaceful means fail, which they did in Punjab at the time, there were no peaceful means, then it was rightful to pick up the sword of justice. And all these generals, they did just that. They picked up that sword of justice and they made it shine in Punjab. And they safeguarded so many different people. So many people felt safe when they knew that Gurbachan Singh Manochal was in the area. They felt safe when they knew Avtar Singh Brahma was in the area. They felt safe when they knew Manveer Singh Chehru was in the area. So these people are heroes. They're not some different breed of Sikhi. People will try and make you believe that these people had their own version of Sikhi. But if you look at our history, they've done exactly what our martyrs in the past had done. What Bhai Mani Singh Ji done, what Bhai Taru Singh Ji done. They fought against tyranny. So as we can see, if we delve into what life was like in Punjab, we can see that these people who tell us that Dilavar Singh and all these other people, Bhai Rajoana, are terrorists and they're hardliners and extremists, what we can see if we delve into their life is that they were normal people like us. They had normal families like us. They used to go home at the end of the day and their mum would make roti for them, just like when we go home and our mum makes food for us. They'll chill with their friends in the evening. They like to have a laugh and a joke. But why would somebody want to abandon so many pleasures of life and embark on a path where the life expectancy for a Sikh freedom fighter in Punjab from 1984 to 1995, the average life expectancy was 2 months. Why would you want to discard so many comforts of home and embark on a path where your life will be ended by a barrage of bullets, by electric shocks, by tearing your body limb from limb, by having your family members dishonored in front of you, by having your house burnt and reduced to ashes? Why would you embark on such a path? It's because in Punjab, life wasn't worth living anymore. And that's what Punjab was like. Life wasn't worth living. And these people, they stepped up and brought honor to people's lives. So these people like Bhai Rajoana and Dilavar Singh, they weren't grown in any fields. They weren't made in factories. They weren't some kind of robots that live life without a heart. They were normal, peace-loving people like you and me, students, normal workers, farmers. All they wanted was to be able to live. But India wouldn't let that happen. So they took extreme measures. And the question I'd like to ask for people who are watching, what would you do if the following people said this in your country? The Indian Foreign Secretary, M.M.K. Wali, said, "We have broken the back of the Sikhs and we will get them elsewhere." That was India's Foreign Secretary. A brigadier, a very senior brigadier in India's army, March 8th, 1991, says, "We'll get all your males and we'll kill them. We'll get their women, take them to army camps to breed a new race if there was any militant activity in your village." He said that on Women's Liberation Day. Former Prime Minister of India, Chandrasekhar, 21st October 1991, he says, "You do not know the might of our armed forces. We will eliminate 10,000 Sikh youths and the world will know nothing of it." Put yourself in that situation. The Indian Foreign Secretary, the former Prime Minister, senior ranking brigadier, if they make these comments, what would you do in that place? We can see what these beautiful, brave souls that we've talked about in this video done. People like Bhai Dilavar Singh, Bhai Balwant Singh Rajoana, people like Bhai Gurbachan Singh Manochal, Bhai Manveer Singh Jehru. They followed Guru Nanak Dev Ji's teaching. They didn't make their own version of Sikhi. They went straight back to 1469. What did our Guru Nanak Dev Ji say? "Je jeeve pat lathi jaye, sab haram, jeta kish khaye." That if you're living and breathing, but around you, your mother and sister are being raped, your Gurdwara is being reduced to rubble, innocent people are being butchered, and you do nothing about it, then your life is haram. Even you eating and drinking is haram. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, these are what my Sikhs are about. My Sikhs, just like Bhai Dilavar Singh, Bhai Rajoana, Bhai Manveer Singh Jehru, they will live with dignity, pride, strength and honour. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.